Ousmane Dembélé has gone from what if to why not now. In a single, blistering season at Paris Saint Germain, the French winger has vaulted to the top of every Ballon d'Or shortlist. How did a player once defined by injuries become 2025's ultimate favorite? Let's dive straight in. A year ago, most fans still used Dembélé's name as shorthand for unrealized potential. Today, bookmakers call him the frontrunner, and even the harshest critics admit his transformation feels surreal. The next few minutes will show exactly how that metamorphosis happened. Play by electrifying play. Dembélé lit the league on fire from match day 1. 21 goals and 8 assists that ripped defenses apart and handed PSG yet another domestic crown. His October hat trick against bitter rivals Marseille wasn't just a scoreline. It was a statement that the king of the wing had arrived in Paris for real. By February, he settled the title chase with a 92nd minute rocket in Lyon, and pundits stopped asking if PSG would win, only by how many. But that was merely the warm-up. Since then, he's rattled off back-to-back hat tricks, first against Stuttgart in the Champions League and then versus Brest 4 days later, becoming the first PSG player to pull off that feat in nearly a decade. Those explosions pushed him to the top of Ligue 1's scoring table and earned glowing praise from manager Luis Enrique, who called Dembélé our difference maker every single week. Yet Dembélé reserves his deadliest work for Europe's brightest lights. 8 goals, 4 assists, and a highlight reel swerve past Kyle Walker that broke X accounts overnight. Dembélé's Champions League has been pure theater. His quarter-final solo run at the Etihad silenced Manchester and the skeptical analytics crowd in one breath. Then came a semi-final two-piece versus Arsenal that pushed PSG into their first final since 2020. European nights? He owns them now. Zoom in on the numbers, and it gets wilder. He's been directly involved in 12 of PSG's 22 UCL goals, including a looping header that stunned City on their own pitch and a curling finish at the park that left Aaron Ramsdale frozen. If he lifts the trophy in Istanbul on May 31st, voters will have a fresh, indelible image when those Ballon d'Or ballots drop. Brilliant numbers are great, yet it's the how that fascinates coaches. Instead of hugging the chalk, Dembélé drifts inside, forming a roaming 10 partnership with Vitinha. The result? Overloads that shred low blocks and leave fullbacks chasing ghosts. When PSG loses the ball, it's Dembélé who springs the press, turning defense into chaos in seconds. It's tactical liberation, and the winger has never looked this free or this ruthless. The data backs it up. He ranks first in League 1 for shot-creating actions and sits just behind Diego Moreira for successful dribbles, all while logging fewer turnovers than in any previous season. Spanish outlet AS even notes that Enrique's experiment of using him as a hybrid false 9 has unlocked goal-scoring instincts few realized he had, catapulting him into historic territory for PSG. Freedom breeds efficiency, and the metrics prove it. Models gave him 14 expected goals. He smashed in 26, outscoring XG by a jaw-dropping 12. That finishing clinic coincides with a new sports science program aimed squarely at his once fragile hamstrings. The payoff? 0 muscle tweaks all season, a first in his senior career. Critics who labeled him made of glass now watch him play 90 after 90. Look closer and you'll see a player rewriting his own injury narrative. Transfermarkt lists just a 6-day illness absence all year, compared to months out in earlier seasons. Factor in his 11% jump in shooting accuracy, and the stat heads, who once dismissed him as inefficient, suddenly can't get enough of his spreadsheets. Dominance like that forces a new question. Where do rivals stand? Bookmakers have slashed his odds to 15-8, nudging Haaland, Salah, and even young prodigy Lamine Yamal into the chasing pack. Mbappé's move to Madrid shifted the spotlight west, only for Dembélé to seize Paris entirely. Holland's City bowed out in the semis. Bellingham cooled off after January, and suddenly the path looks clear for PSG's number 10. The storyline practically writes itself. Lone superstar leads rebuilt squad to domestic dominance and a possible European crown. Voters love a clear hero, and without the shadow of Mbappé inside the park, Dembélé's highlights reach every social feed. Still, odds alone don't write legends. Narratives do. Remember the injury-prone tag? Gone. 48 consecutive appearances and counting. Social feeds that once mocked his missed matches now celebrate number Dembélé 2025, a hashtag soaring 320% above last year. Critics from his Barcelona days find themselves revising old takes while fans craft compilations titled From Glass to Gold. When a comeback story writes itself, award voters take notice. Public perception isn't the only thing flipping. The dressing room dynamic has changed too. Teammates reportedly call him Cap in training because he's taken over Mbappé's pre-game pep talks, turning snickers into respect. Luis Enrique even joked that Dembélé is now my assistant coach on the pitch, a quip that sums up how far the Frenchman's leadership has come. And the stage for his grand finale is already set. The calendar circles May 31st. Champions League final against Inter. Lift that trophy and voters will remember the image forever. Days later, there's the French Cup showdown, another medal. With the Nations League on deck in autumn, Dembélé has multiple spotlights left before Ballon d'Or ballots lock on July 31st. One more decisive performance could seal a destiny that once felt impossible. He knows it too. In a recent presser before the Arsenal tie, Dembélé smiled when asked about the Ballon d'Or chatter. Awards come if we win games. That's all that matters. The understatement hides a killer instinct. If he scores, or even just dazzles in Istanbul, the voters may find their decision already made. Ousmane Dembélé's 2025 is the stuff of football folklore. Unmatched stats, electrifying moments, and a redemption narrative fans crave. Rivals may boast records or reputations, but none can claim a season as transformative or as clutch as the one unfolding in Paris. If form, story, and still matter, the Ballon d'Or is his to lose. And that's the beauty of sport. Tomorrow's 90 minutes could still change everything.